Hello. Yeah, I'm sorry. With like a few minutes, I realized I didn't have a thumbnail, and I wanted to put a thumbnail up because I'm trying to like make this thing look a bit more, I don't know, professional. Like I know what I'm doing, whenever in fact I don't. Um, Goodness, my camera is so off. So my apologies. Uh, anyway, so it's the last stream of the year, and I didn't know if I wanted to like do a recap. It's been wild. It's like I said from the beginning, a Trump administration is always going to have something. It's always going to be interesting, to say the least. The memes have been great. My personal favorite is the fat JD Vance with like the curly hair, and I don't know. It's just he's always like just up to something, and now they've added Nicki Minaj to the mix. It's great. So as far as memes go, the Trump administration by far has the best memes. Uh, so that's been my highlight of the year because obviously there's so much that you know as far I'm not going to sit here and just like bash Orange Man, like Orange Man bad, but there's a lot of things that he's done that I really don't approve of as a libertarian. He freed Ross. That was wonderful. And the pardon he given was great. It was a great pardon. Um, he pardoned the J6ers, which I thought was great because I personally think that, you know, they did what any citizen should do. They brought their grievances to the government, and they saw a lot more jail time than any of the people who were rioting during like the BLM riots and such, because they were torching and destroying private property. They should have saw a lot more jail time than any of the J6ers because it's so American to take your grievances to the government like that. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. On January 6th that day, I was all smiles because it was just glorious. I'll give it to the Republicans. If they're going to go hog wild, they at least take their grievances to the responsible party. Whereas the left, they just burn private property. They're like envious of success and they just burn people's businesses. So, I'll give it to the Republicans on that one. I personally think that when they riot more honorably. Anyway, hi everyone. I see everyone in the chat. Thank you for coming on. I do hate. So yes, already finished my first drink. Let's get this rolling. Okay, let me show you what I have. Okay, hang on. It's right here. Hope I don't knock my ring light over. I have two, and I'm kind of scared. I've never had these before, but I have heard lots of things. Okay. I have two Buzz Balls, and they're pineapple colada, basically pina colada. I don't know why bother saying pineapple colada when it's I don't know. Anyway, personally, I love pina coladas. They're actually my go-to drink when I go to the beach. My family used to go to this resort in Panama City when we would go on like family vacations. Because from Tennessee, like where I'm from, like Nashville, you just like drive straight down, and Panama City's like right there. So I was of age to drink, and the resort would give us like these tickets, and I would get pina coladas. Something about being on the beach and a pina colada just goes hand in hand. It's just wonderful. So anyway, I have two of them. And I don't know if anyone's familiar with them. I don't know if you can read that or not. I don't know. Can you read that? They are 15%. I don't know. Can you read? Anyway. So they're 15%. I don't really drink very rarely. I'll drink like one or two drinks if I go to a concert because, after losing all that weight, alcohol puts a lot of weight on. I know that from experience. You can gain a lot of weight drinking alcohol. So I just basically like didn't completely quit drinking. I just don't drink, for health reasons, unless like I go to a concert. Anyway, so buzz balls get you white girl drunk. I don't really drink, so I think it's gonna really probably affect me a lot more because I don't really drink. Oh no, buzzballs have a bad rep here in Wisconsin. Ah, yeah, yeah, tiny balls of disappointment. Hail Goth, good to see you. Have fun tonight. Thank you. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Appreciate you. All right, so what I'm gonna do. Oh, what, cousin Eddie? I drank so much this week, my liver asked me for a break. Yeah, that's what another reason why I don't drink, because I had some tests done a couple of years ago, and my liver was like not in a good place. But I think I'm okay now. I haven't had any issues. So hello, hello, hello. All right, saying hi to everybody. White girl drunk isn't bad, but white girl wasted, you better run for the hills. Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see where this puts me. But yeah, drinking a couple pina colada buzz balls, not sponsored, of course. I'm my own sponsor at this point. Y'all are my sponsors. I appreciate you. Y'all keep the show going. So let's this is my cup. Isn't it cool? I got this from Spirit Halloween. It's a skull with a sakura tree growing out of it, and it is adorable. If you know me, I'm obsessed with sakuras, and then the skull it was just perfect. Anyway, I wanted to bring these, and y'all can see me pour it into the cup. That way, I'm not like cheating. I am drinking the buzz balls, and they're unopened. So let's open them. Yes, and with my nails and everything, so I don't break them or anything. Okay. Try not to break my nails. Oh, did not expect that. It got on my. Oh goodness. That is straight gasoline. Okay. There's the first one. Okay. Trying to like read the chat while I'm doing this. Hope I don't spill it. Okay, the first one. It's not quite half. Almost. Okay, let's pour the second one. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably gonna regret this tomorrow because like I'm not like in my 20s anymore. I will probably not feel too great tomorrow morning, so I might be a bit late with my good morning post. Okay. But it's the last stream of the year, so gotta have some fun. Okay. All right, so I got both buzz balls in here. It's probably a little. I don't know if you see that. You'll see that right there. Okay, it's a little over half. Maybe a little over half. No, about 2/3 of the way up. So, all right. Cheers to the end of 2025. It has been a hell of a year, y'all. Oh, that's not bad, actually. It's a little strong, but that's not bad. Oh, I feel like I'm blowing out rubbing alcohol. Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit of news, and then we'll recap the year. So, there's been some strikes in Nigeria. Not bombs over Baghdad, but strikes in Nigeria. The Christians have been getting genocided, which I think we touched on last week. I know that I said that very casually, and it's a very serious topic. It's not It's not in any way to be taken casually. But there has been some strikes on ISIS in Nigeria. Now, I'm not exactly certain if all of the ones doing the attacks on the Christians are all ISIS or they're just part of it. Regardless, they're killing Christians. Like whole Christian villages have been wiped out in Nigeria, and the government apparently just kind of looks the other way. So, apparently, according to Trump, they were struck hard. It was deadly, and it was glorious, or something. How he always, blows everything in terms of it's the greatest. It was the greatest attack. There's been no attack like that ever seen. They died like a dog. I said, ISIS, leave the Christians alone. They said, no, no, no. I said, no, you can leave the Christians alone. I got a missile like you never seen. No one's ever seen this missile before. My Trump impression sucks, but you get the idea. So he orders some attacks on ISIS, which weren't we told ISIS was obliterated? I thought we were told ISIS was obliterated. Guess not. But like that would be the first time our government has lied to us. Please. I'm scared. Oh, it's tasty though. Minus the rubbing alcohol after effect. Trump's talking about Bubba's missile in the Epstein files. Yes. Oh, I can't believe I didn't even think of that to touch on, especially as much as I talk about Epstein. There has been some revelations in the Epstein files. Some kind of predictable, like the Clintons. Hillary Clinton looked like she just, sacrificed a baby to Moloch or something. She had this all gold thing with just her arms peeping out. She's never been one for fashion. I really think that Hillary Clinton's stylist hates her, which I really who doesn't, honestly? But as many people as she's offed, allegedly, you would think her stylist would be a lot more careful on how bad they dress her, but apparently not. That, or she really likes the bad clothes that they put on her, because sorry girl, this just doesn't do it for you. Anyway, but there's some really sickening things in those Epstein files that have been found. There was how to massage a baby, which it would look innocent enough because it didn't get graphic, at least, but it's creepy because Epstein didn't have any kids. The man didn't have any children, so why does he have how to massage a baby in his files? There was also an affidavit, or there was some witness statement that said that Trump was present during some sort of infanticide on Lake Michigan. That was the only thing apparently that I have heard of regarding Trump that looks bad. But I actually have not heard the left talk about that. You think that they would really put that out there? But a friend of mine sent me the link, and it is to the FBI, documents, that there was an alleged infanticide on Lake Michigan. And it was a girl, I think she said her uncle was involved in some way. Her uncle threw the baby in Lake Michigan, and that's horrific. Absolutely horrific. So, yeah, that's one of the most disturbing things that I've heard. There's endless photos of course, Epstein with girls of questionable age. And keep in mind, he never had kids, so it's not like he had a daughter that was on the plane with him, sitting on his lap or anything. No. It was definitely a victim. Luckily, their faces were shielded. But then, of course, you get the left lamestream media blocking out girls' faces who are of age to try to make Trump look bad. I'm sorry, like they have to reach for straws on that. And if there was really something damning on him, they would have released it by now. So it's like, come on, you're just trying to make up shit because you don't really have anything like that's that bad that you would already have released it if you did. Uh, so that's been lame, absolutely lame. Um, but yeah, definitely the Clintons in there, but they were kind of a predictable guest of the files. Now, I did hear that there was an allegation that Prince Andrew, or former Prince, from the according to the headline, it said former Prince. I don't think he actually lost his title. I believe he's still technically by birth he's always going to be Prince, but title wise, I'm not sure if that was stripped or if he's completely set that down. But he allegedly was at a party, an Epstein party in the UK, where they had the victims, like apparently they were tied down and like electrocuted or tortured or something. It's just horrific, and you almost have to disassociate this stuff whenever you read it or talk about it, because some of this stuff is so unbelievably horrific. And I've said horrific many times, but that's the only word I could think of that is just that could describe any of that, is horrific. To think that people can do this to another person, especially a child. And I know I dissociate a lot just to be able to, even fathom. And it's just like a part of me, I have to convince myself it's not true, just because there's so much evil in the world that it would be really hard to get out of bed just for fear of that. Yeah. Anyway. But I really hope 2026 brings some justice, some closure, and some comfort to Epstein's victims. As far as justice goes, I'm not going to hold my breath, unfortunately. I'm not very optimistic in that. But I do hope that maybe the Justice Department will do the right thing. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I really hope that they do the right thing in 2026 and we see some arrests. All right. Oh, I'm so torn if that's good or not, because it tastes, flavor wise, it's a good pina colada, but then the alcohol hits. It's so strong. Anyway, hope 2026 brings a lot of good stuff. Yeah, me too. It's been a hell of a year. Some of the highlights of the year, though, meme wise, have been like the fat JD Vance, as I mentioned earlier. Nicki Minaj coming out full force MAGA, like that was unexpected. But the memes that have come along with that have been great. I really think that as somebody in the music scene where she's at, to come out as not a leftist is very brave. Honestly, if she's MAGA, or she's independent, libertarian, I don't care. It's the fact that the left really thinks and feels like they have a monopoly on anything cool and pop culture. And for the most part, they do. However, as big as Nicki Minaj is, she basically said, fuck y'all, this is what I believe in, and I'm going to stick by it. And I really think that was very brave of her, because there's so many people who have thrown her under the bus and are throwing their Nicki stuff away, as if that matters, because she's got the money anyway. And are just, what do you call it? Just completely trashing her for her coming out, as maggot. And I think it really started to do with the fact that, she is a Christian woman. She, was raised Christian in Trinidad. She said that her grandmother, was very religious and instilled that in her since she was a toddler. And yeah, she doesn't really always dress super modestly, but that's kind of the thing now. I don't necessarily want to. I'm not going to point fingers at anybody's sins, whenever I have plenty of my own. But I know she's not like perfect, and none of us are. But she, spoke out against the genocide in Nigeria, which I really applaud her for, using her platform for something good. And I really respect Nicki Minaj for that. I've always been a fan, though, believe it or not. And I'll say it on this stream, but I'm not going to do it. Not even after these two buzzballs. I can actually rap some of Nicki Minaj's songs because, like I said, I'm a fan. And they're on my cardio workout list. And I used to actually, like, whenever I would run the track, because I used to be a gym rat. When I would go running, I would actually start out with Starships, and then it would probably run into Stupid Ho. But her stuff is great for cardio. I'm sorry, like, she's got great songs for cardio. So, I've been a fan of Nicki's for a while, and she's on my cardio list. You know what? If I was able to get super chats, I would probably. I'd probably say, like, if I get this much in super chats, I'll do it. But I don't qualify for super chats yet at YouTube. So once I do, maybe I'll be like, okay, if y'all give me enough super chats, maybe I'll do it. But I don't qualify yet. So no, I'm not going to be rapping Nicki Minaj tonight. Not even with all this right here. I'm not even that far in, and my face is already getting hot. Like, what's it called? Like they call it like an Asian flush or something. However, I only have like maybe 2% Asian heritage in me. Like, I think 1.2 or so is Han Chinese and the others Japanese. But I feel like that might be the only thing I inherited because my face gets the flush. Oof. It's like a tropical, and then it's like breathe fire. Anyway, but yeah, not sponsored, but I recommend the Buzzballs. They're pretty good. But I'm not used to drinking, so it's kind of. Anyway, all right. So this year has had so many ups and downs in regards to the Epstein stuff. Bondi, it's on my desk, and then it's not on my desk, and then she has a bunch of conservative influencers into the White House holding up these folders like, oh, Epstein files, phase 1, blah, blah, we got them. They're being given out to these influencers. If I was them, I would have ripped a hole, ripped Bondi and then a new a-hole, because the DOJ really made them look like assholes. Because they gave them phase 1, but what they gave them was stuff that was already available. And made them all look like grifters, which some of them are, like Feline Feces. He's like the biggest conservative grifter. But then you had some like nice ones. Like, I think Jack Posovic's a nice guy. I've actually been a follower for his for a while because he is very entertaining. Yes, he has his quirks, some things that are a bit annoying about him. But as far as, is he a good person? I think Jack Posovic's a good person. He was made to look like an asshole about it, but he wasn't also one of the ones that was like smiling about it. Chaya Reichik, I think is her name, lives a TikTok. Like, her and Cat Feline Feces were just to the media, and it was a bad look, very bad look, because it's like these are files that have real victims. that are still living. Like, just a bad look all around. So yeah, no, I'm not drunk yet. But yeah, these I should run a sale for the new year on these. These actually have sold quite well this year. The Make America Goth Again. I did send one to Jake Monroe because he said he's going to send me one of his hats too, like a hat trade, but I have not. I'm not going to hold him to it. I don't care. But Make America Goth Again, it is in my store, and I will bring up the store at the end of the stream per usual. Anyway, so yeah, going back to the whole Epstein debacle, it was put out that Trump gets out of office, he's going to drop the Epstein stuff. And of course, everyone's like, okay, yeah, if Trump was in it, then they would have released it whenever Biden was in office, which I honestly think that is like a really great point, because they've tried everything against Trump, and this is from the outside looking in as a libertarian. You see how the left has weaponized the government. They've weaponized the courts. They've weaponized everything but when it comes to the deep state and such, the left is the one that really has control of it, because it's a big Marxist movement is all it is. Now, there are like neocons that are in on it too. But then you have other Republicans who aren't in on it, like Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. They're not, neocons. They're not in on this whole deep state Marxist bullshit. Anyway, so Trump gets in. He's like, I'm going to release Epstein files. Like, he hit the ground running, okay? Because this is Trump's first year. He hit the ground running. In the first week, he freed Ross, which was his promise to libertarians, So, yes, we all like that. And we're happy that, Ross is able to spend the holidays with his family after so many years. He wasn't even expected to ever spend the holidays again with his family. But he got to spend the holidays with his family again. His pardon was full, like a full unconditional pardon, I believe. I forget what the actual title was, but he pardoned him fully, which was great of him. Actually, it went a little bit above and beyond what we were asking. We just wanted him to release Ross, but he went a little beyond that with the pardon, with the type of pardon he gave. So there was that. Like I said, hit the ground running in the beginning. Now, there are some libertarians who were mad that he didn't do it like day one. Like, he's busy. Do you really expect him to, after he swears in, to be handed a paper for Ross's pardon? No, that's not how things work. Like, yes, I'm defending Trump. Like, stop making me defend Trump. But Trump got Ross pardoned in the first week, which I thought was wonderful. So that was great. And then I think whenever he had to approach a lot of the foreign affairs, like Ukraine and Israel, Palestine, I think that's where he kind of, I guess, tripped up a bit. Now, he did stick it to Zelensky in the fact that Zelensky is trying to call shots that he really doesn't, doesn't have the cards for, because he's not the one with the money. We are the ones that are giving him the money for this war. We're the ones that are helping fund it to keep it going. But Ukraine is losing generations. I'm sure there's been whole families wiped out due to this war, because they're putting in even old people, like the elderly, to fight this war. And Zelensky wanted to keep it going. Now, I hear that Zelensky will be meeting with Trump pretty soon in Florida, of all places. But it's been a very long war, and I think that Trump really had more expectations on ending it sooner after getting in office, and it didn't really work out that way. I think he had higher expectations for his ability to end these conflicts than he thought. He did manage to help in the Israel-Palestine conflict. However, we all know how history goes between those two. It's never ending. It's not going to end. And honestly, I think the Christians should just take over the area. Deus Vult. And I'm saying that looking right to the camera. Deus Vult. Okay. The Christians should have the area. And I'm not apologizing for that either. Not the Jews, not the Muslims. The kingdom of Jerusalem should rise in the area. And I'm not apologizing for that whatsoever. They can't get along. Give it back to the Christians. Anyway. But he managed to get them to stop. But that's going to start at any time. And the thing is that whenever Netanyahu starts to lose power or lose favor, he loosens the security up a bit. And Hamas always trying to get at Israel. So there's going to be an attack, and then he's going to have a reason to attack them, and then it's going to start all over again. And that's just how it goes. That conflict has been going for so long, and it's not going to stop just because Trump gets in office and says, okay, all right, sign this, stop. No. Luckily, they've, given back the hostages, and, one bad does not excuse the other in any way. I honestly think that both sides are crap in the situation. I don't take either side. The side I take is for the Christians to take over Jerusalem. But, that's not really a popular opinion, I don't think. I think when people try to talk about the conflict in Israel-Palestine, they try to take one side or the other. But there's a third side. There is a third side, and it's called the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And it is for the Christians and Christianity to retake the region. Crusades. Done it before. However, the same nations and peoples that carried out the Crusades are currently being invaded by a non-Christian entity. And it sounds bad to say, oh, they're being invaded. But when you look at the statistics, when you look at the way that things are changing in these countries, it's an invasion. And no, it's not racist to say so, because Islam is not a race. It is a religion. And the people who are coming over who are Islamists are of different races. Actual different races. You have the Arab Muslims, you have African Muslims, they're all different. And it has nothing to do with what they look like. It has completely to do with the doctrine that they follow, which is Sharia law. Sharia law imposes on the liberties of others. It is completely incompatible with the West. You see how in Europe they are policing free speech. Still saying they have free speech, but they're policing speech, arresting people for memes and stuff, and essentially imposing on the liberties of others for the comfort of people whose values do not equate to the same values that made Europe the powerhouse it once was. So, yeah, I know I'm kind of spicy tonight. Yeah. The buzzballs got me a little bit spicy, I guess. It's the religion itself, not a race. I've been saying this for years. It is absolutely a religion. Now, I did say earlier on X that, like Laura Loomer, which I don't always agree with Laura Loomer. I think she's a little cray-cray, but she does make some good points sometimes. She did say that any lawmaker that follows Islam should be removed. And it's akin to saying any lawmaker that is an open communist should be removed. Because the thing is that if you are following a certain belief in doctrine, which is either Sharia law with Islam or communism, you're not going to uphold, especially, Sharia law, you're not going to uphold the actual laws of your land. You are going to uphold Sharia law. Sharia law imposes on the liberty of others, especially women. All right. And don't get me wrong when I say that there's some women that really feel like they should be reined in these days, because some women have just gone off the rails. However, you impose on their liberties, like actual, like not this fake oppression that a lot of women really think that they're under, like all that handmaid's bullshit. But you impose on the rights of others via Sharia law. Even men's like rights get put under a microscope in Sharia law. You have any lawmaker that follows Islam, they're going to want to follow Sharia law. Sharia law is not compatible with the West. And the thing is that Islam has their own political doctrine, which is the Sharia law. Christianity does not have their own political doctrine. And the thing is, a lot of our founding fathers' documents, like the Declaration of Independence and even our Bill of Rights, our Constitution, has a lot of basis in Christianity, but it's not a specific Christian-based religion. We even said the state, like the government will not establish a religion, but Christianity did influence our laws, like our founding documents, but it's not imposing Christianity upon others. Now, Sharia law does impose Islam on others. So there's a difference. Christianity does not impose any kind of political doctrine, And the thing about Christianity compared to Islam is that Christianity does believe in free will, and that you can pray for forgiveness. You have free will as given by God. But any followers of Islam are going to be pro Sharia law. They're going to promote Sharia law, and Sharia law, flat out incompatible with the West, imposes on the liberty of others, and incompatible with the laws of the land, as regarding free will and such, and establishes a religion, which is against the Constitution. In general, the state will not establish a religion, but it does. Sharia law is a religious political doctrine. So I really feel like, to keep from being called racist, Islamophobic, a lot of lawmakers are really letting things kind of get out of control. And the thing about religious radicals is that they will not only take advantage of that, but they're going to continue to do so. And they're going to take all they can, because as a religious radical, that's what you do. You take all you can. You do as much as you can. You spread as much of your religion as you can. And, the left has what I call the bigotry of low expectations. And they are going to, they're going to allow people to take advantage of them. So eventually they will be oppressed. They will be the oppressed that they dream that they are, that they imagine that they are. Because at this point in time, they're not as oppressed as they really try to say, or even oppressed in general. Like, they really just, especially leftist women, I really think it's a kink. Like, come on. They watch too much Handmaid's Tale. I've never even seen it, but I already know what it's about. And I swear, these women have either watched too much Handmaid's Tale or watched or read too much 50 Shades of Grey, because they have to have a kink. I swear, they have to have a kink, because they're always talking about how oppressed they are, and like things are going to lead to this, and it goes to the extreme. It's never like, it's never sensible. It's always the extreme shit. Like, girl, chill out. I don't know. I'm feeling this buzzballs already. Okay, so LG is a little drunk already. So a little spicy. Okay, let's take some questions from the chat because I've been rambling. And I'm gonna get myself in trouble, probably taken down on YouTube. All right, let's take some questions from the chat. Ask me anything, and if I want to answer, I will. So this is your chance. It could be off topic. Okay, it could be off topic because this is the last stream of the year. Like I said, I'm having a drink. I don't normally drink. This is to have fun, wrap up the year. So it's been a great year. It's been one full year of the Alternative Sovereign. I started at the beginning of this year, and I've kept it going through the whole year. Now, I did have some breaks in there. Life gets in the way. Here's one. What's the last concert you've been to? It was the Levitation Festival in Austin, Texas, where I got to see Acid Bath, which I love Acid Bath. Probably, it actually, metal bands, as far as metal bands go, Acid Bath is my number one. Very close to my heart. Grew up listening to them. They got back together, and I had to go. Had to see them as soon as I heard that they were going to be going to Austin. So I drove up to Austin. Favorite bands? Him is probably my number one favorite. Him from Finland. Second is Acid Bath. Third, oh goodness. Third, I guess I'll say Orgy, just because I really can't think of a third one right now, but him, Acid Bath, and I'm just going to say third is Orgy. And because y'all know that I love Orgy, hang on, where is it? I saw five. Here we go. Here's one. 5 best Orgy songs. In no particular order. Okay. Stitches. Blue Monday. Pantomime. Suck It. Sorry. I gotta have Suck It on there. And Dizzy. I love Dizzy. So those are my top 5 Orgy songs. I just heard Acid Bath for the first time tonight. Very interesting. Yes, they have their own sound, and they're kind of considered swamp metal. But that's because they're from Louisiana. They have a very grungy sound. But they are amazing. I absolutely love Acid Bath. Very close to my heart. What's a guilty pleasure song you wouldn't want someone to hear you singing along to? Maybe any Britney Spears song from the early 2000s, because I know I know them, and the NSYNC ones. So basically any of those. Yeah, I was an NSYNC teeny bopper back in the day. Yeah, so any of those. How you listen to old school early 90s death metal? Not really much of 90s death metal. Kind of a lot of death metal I've kind of, listened to is more post 2000s. First 2 Orgy albums are awesome. Do you like Cold? Yes, I do. When I saw Orgy for the first time, when I fell in lust with Jay Gordon, it was because I went to actually see Cold. And Orgy was playing. They were second. They're actually the headliner, and Cold kind of was the first. They're co-headliner. It was Cold, and then it was Orgy. And I went because of Cold, because I was always a Cold fan. And then I stayed for Orgy, and I was like, "This Jay Gordon guy is so hot." So then I stayed, and I absolutely enjoyed the show. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, Jay was the only original member left. However, I got to see Amir and Ryan, who were in Orgy, OG Orgy. Amir was the lead guitarist in Orgy. Ryan was the rhythm guitarist in Orgy. And they have their own band. They have a drummer with it too, who was not in Orgy. They had their own band called Julian K. Got to see them a few months later. And so, fun fact, fun story. So when I went to see Orgy the first time, actually, when I went to see Cold and then fell in love with Orgy, because I've heard Orgy, but I never saw Jay Gordon. I got this, which I always wear, my Orgy bracelet. Okay. I went to the Julian K show, and I actually get to meet Julian K after their set. And I showed Ryan Shuck. I was like, "Yeah, I saw Orgy when Orgy came here." I was like, because I knew he wasn't in it anymore. But I was like, "Yeah," and I showed him. I was like, "Yeah, I saw Orgy when they came here." And he pointed at he's like, "That's just Jay. That's just Jay. Like that's not with us or anything." And I was like, and I just made an ass of myself. But Ryan Shuck followed me back on Instagram after I followed him. So all was well, I guess. But that's my little story on making an ass of myself in front of OG Orgy members. Heard of the band Portal, most terrifying band I've ever heard and seen. I have not. Send me some stuff. I know you're in my DMs too, so go ahead and DM me some stuff. I'd like to hear them. OG Orgy, the alliteration is hilarious. Orgy, never been a bit trying to enjoy. Yep. Jake Gordon looks like handsome Squidward. He used to model too. I don't doubt that. Jake Gordon is a very handsome man. He's like, I guess, like they call it like a hall pass or something. Jake Gordon's hall pass. But he's like in his 50s. He's how old is he now? I gotta look this up because of celebrities, him and Villa Vallo, but I see Villa Vallo as so ethereal that he's like untouchable. Let's see, Jake Gordon age. Jake Gordon is 58 years old. Oh goodness. My daddy issues are showing now. Anyway, ever heard of Dance with the Dead? I think I might have heard of them, but not heard their stuff. I guess the name sounds a little familiar, or something of that nature. So if you want to send me some stuff, I'm open to it. Like I like to find new bands. One new, I guess, band or whatever, or artist that I found recently is Gunboy. Gunboy is kind of more like the old school goth industrial. I've heard people try to compare them to Sisters of Mercy, but I don't know. Gunboy is really good. That's like a newer person I've heard of. So yeah. Anyway. So yeah. Industrial, yeah. Speaking of industrial, check out Gasoline and Vertebrate. I did a song with him. The song I did with him, I personally am not I'm very bashful about my own stuff, but honestly, whatever Brian did with my speaking part, it was just, he did a great job with it. He's a master at his craft. So check out Gasoline and Vertebrate if you like industrial. He's also a really cool guy too, buddy of mine. Oh, yeah, Gasoline's pretty good. He's great. What's your take on The Awakening? I don't really have a take. I haven't heard much. Brian's a great fucking dude. I love him. Yeah, I know. He's so awesome. He's such a sweet guy. The appearance on Timcast has been doing well for him, and I really hope that he continues to rise. Anything and everything good happening to him, he absolutely deserves it. He's such a nice person, and all the bad shit that has happened to him, I really hope that the people who did that to him face their karma, because he's such a nice guy, like through and through, and he's very smart. He's, he did not bow to the mob, and he's still a very sweet, nice person. He definitely could have turned bitter, but he didn't. He's still a very nice person. He's still such a very, very kind, hearted person, extremely talented, and I really hope that his career bounces back after all this bullshit. And honestly, one thing about that though is that there's this group on Facebook called Goths Against Cancel Culture, and it was started in part because of him. It was started by Danielle Estrella of Crucifera, and check out Crucifera, by the way. They're on Liger Hawk Records, which is Brian Groffner's label. But there has been like a movement, which is like a kind of a civil war within the alternative community, mostly the goth community, but alternative community in general, because it includes like the industrial community and such. Because of Brian, there's people who are like, this guy didn't deserve this. This is cancel culture, and he didn't really do anything. And then there's people who are dragging him like he's like the Antichrist. So Goths Against Cancel Culture, they've been growing and growing because people are getting sick of this shit. They're getting sick of, dragging people and ruining their lives over things that really are inconsequential or are just differing of opinion. And his crime was, what Brian did? He had a guest on his Space Couch show who was known to be somebody who was gender critical, like critical of the gender movement, of the gender ideology bullshit. And yes, I call it bullshit. Obviously, I'm critical of that shit. I have friends that are genuinely dysphoric, and I know that they feel the same way because a lot of these people are trenders. And now they're going after children. But anyway, so he had somebody who was a known gender critic on. They didn't even talk about that. They didn't even talk about being gender critical. They were just on his show, and they said, "Oh, don't have her on your show. She's, whatever, this and that." He's like, "I think it's okay to talk to people." And that is what got him canceled. And not only that, apparently there's been so many diss tracks made about him. And he, I think today on X, he even said that he found another diss track. Like, what did this guy really do? Like, you really need a villain that bad? He's such a nice guy. A genuinely nice guy. And you're really trying to ruin his life. And it really did ruin his life. And I have no respect for anybody who thinks it's okay to do that to somebody else. Just because they hold a differing opinion. Just because you think that they are a bigot or guilty by association. That's not a reason to take away somebody's livelihood because they've gotten so many venues and gigs to cancel them. That's no reason to, end somebody's marriage, make it to where they can't get booked again. Literally ruining somebody's life. That's not okay. That's not okay. And, whatever happened to Brian, I really hope that karma comes back around to the people that did it to him. Keep in mind, these are the same people who cancel people for simply wanting love. Yeah. He lives rent free in so many angry heads. He really does. Even till today, and that happened years ago. Apparently, he tried to join Hate Department, or he did kind of join Hate Department, which is another industrial band, and they got booked on Dark Force Fest, and the mob, as soon as they found out that Brian Groffner was in it, they had Dark Force Fest take off Hate Department, even though a lot of people were looking forward to seeing Hate Department, but just because Brian Groffner has something to do with them, they're like, like, really? Really? This is stupidest thing. Absolute stupidest thing. Yeah, I think I've already finished probably almost one whole Buzzball. I can feel it. I'm not going to feel that great in the morning because I don't drink. Anyway. I'm still so conflicted on that because it tastes good, like the pina colada part tastes good, but then it's like so strong. Ugh. I was saying that how many classic punks sided with the man. Well, they're not punks. You know, I hate to say poser, but that's essentially what that is. It's a poser. And a lot of the people who claim to be punk these days advocate for policies that expand government outreach and government power. That's why I call them coggies, because they have cognitive dissonance so severe that they dare call themselves anti-establishment and punk and all this stuff, anti-authoritarian, but they advocate for government policies that expand government power. So, coggies. And funny story, if you follow me on X, then you know. Somebody was like, stop saying coggies, it's lame. I was like, I've never, ever said that I'm trying to get other people to say coggies. I'm not. Like, I've always said, I'm not trying to make fetch happen. I'm just sick and tired of always typing radical left-leaning alternative culture people with severe cognitive dissonance. You know, that gets exhausting to type out every single time. So I was like, you know what? Coggy, short for cognitive dissonance, because they're also a cog in the system that they claim to fight. Coggy. They're a coggy. All right? That's easier to remember. Never said I'm trying to make fetch happen. It's a word that I use. Okay? All right? It's caught on to some people. And cool. You know, like, I'm not, you use it, cool. I'm not going to, like, shut it off. Like, cool, okay, yeah, I've made something that's kind of catching on, whatever. And then some guy was like, stop using coggies. It's lame. Nobody's going to use it. I'm like, first off, dude, I've never tried to get people to use it. You know, I'm not trying to make fetch happen. And then Jake Monroe in his latest video used coggies appropriately too. You know, good job, Jake. I know you're not watching this, but good job. He used it. So I was like, all right, that's funny. So I clipped it. And then I reshared that guy's tweet saying that nobody's going to use it and put that little clip from Jake's video. I thought it was funny. But hey, those people need their own slur, okay? Because the cognitive dissonance is so embarrassing. Like, how can you call yourself anti-establishment and anti-authoritarian and you advocate for programs that give the government more power? Like, are you really that stupid? Like, that's why, like, talking about being left-leaning and being alt, things are so different now. The left is so different now. Things in general are so different now. Now, the left, they want conformity. They do. They are the conformists because they want conformity of thought. And that extends even to the government policies and stuff, like socialized medicine and bullshit. That gives the government more power. Gives the government more power over your health. Honestly, the most, like, but outside of anarchy, actual anarchy, not ANCOM bullshit. Outside of anarchy, libertarianism really is the most, like, anti-establishment, anti-authority, political, like, ideology. And I don't get how so many of them try to call me a bootlicker. It's like, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to get the government out of stuff. Trying to get the government out of healthcare, trying to get them out of education, trying to get them out of everything. And you call me the bootlicker. I'm sorry, boo. Like, that makes no sense. Make it make sense. And yeah, we're about to go over because I want to finish this, and it's the last stream of the year. So yes, we're going over 1 hour tonight. I hope that's okay with y'all. I hope you don't have any plans. 'Cause I don't. All right. It first became apparent when Metallica went after Napster, and later when Rage Against the Machine went rogue. Rage Against the Machine has always been a bunch of freaking Marxists. I've never liked them. I've always felt like they were a bit commie. And I don't like, was it Tom Morello? I don't like his voice. I think it sounds very whiny. He's like a little whiny little communist. So like the band, they're great, but him, like he just sounded very whiny always. Um, but that was mostly Lars, I think, that went after Napster. I don't think anybody likes Lars. I heard that someone said okay. Looks like my stream was ended on Rumble or streams it whenever. Okay, I don't know. If you're watching on Rumble, I apologize. Something went wrong with that. But anyway, so I heard there was an interview where somebody asked, "Is Lars the best drummer in the world?" And somebody, I forgot who said it, but it was somebody in Metallica said, "Lars isn't even the best drummer in Metallica." I'm not a fan of Lars. I don't know who likes Lars, you know? Commies being whiny, what? Yeah, that's all they are. They're just wine bags. Tom Morello is a yes, a nice bundle of sticks. Rage Against the Machine was better with Chris fronting for them. You know, I didn't really care to listen to him enough to actually have an opinion either way, honestly. I just always thought that they were just commie motherfuckers. Rage Against the Machine was posers. They found a niche and sell their brand to naive morons. Look how much Morello is selling his guitar. You know what? Like, I think that it was his I think his ex bio says something about him being some sort of like revolutionary or something of that nature, and it yeah, it was pretty funny. Lars isn't a bad drummer, maybe an asshole, but not a bad drummer. Yeah, I never say he's a bad drummer, but not the best. Not the best drummer. Yeah. Dimmu Borgir has a great drummer too. Listen to Indoctrination, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, I'll check him out. As far as drummers go, I could not probably name off the top of my head who the best are. The drummer for him was actually Gas Lipstick. He I forgot. I think he was thrash. I could be wrong. I think he's a thrash metal drummer, but he joined him because, you know, it's a job. And you know, he'd always complain how it's not metal. Well, of course it's not metal. It's love metal. It's different. It's hymns their own thing. But I think a lot of the issues with the band Him were with Gas. I saw an interview a while back, I think it was a couple of years ago, where Gas was kind of an immature asshole talking about Ville, and it was just like some drama, and I don't know. And I'm not saying like talking about band drama. Ville Valo is not really like an angel in it, because he used to really like rip on Gas on stage, which was kind of like, dude. Like, it's like they're calling him fat on stage. Like, come on, dude. Like, oh. But I don't know. Gas really came off like the asshole in the interviews after the fact. Anyway, so still trying to wrap up the year. I know we're getting kind of like off topic. That's what we do. We chat, get off topic. But as far as this year has gone, been lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of, how do I say it? I don't want to say awakening, but some people call it the great noticing, if you know what I mean. That's been going on a lot. And it's kind of wild to see. You see a lot of people, you know, make these cases. And then you see a lot of people like conspiracy theorists and such. You got the Candace Owens camp, and then unfortunately we lost Charlie Kirk this year, which was horrific. And I hope he rests in peace. But it really seems like people are not letting the man rest in peace. They're going after his wife constantly. there's some things that she, has done that are kind of questionable and kind of tasteless. Uh, but I'm not going to go after a grieving widow. I'm not going to question how she chooses to grieve. Apparently, there was some sort of booth at the little conference thing that they had, some sort of booth to take a picture in, like the kind of booth that Charlie was in whenever he was shot, which is super macabre. Like, I love macabre, but that's too soon, especially if his wife is involved in the putting together of the setup for the photo thing. A bit too macabre, and especially if you're a grieving widow, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to see that. Period. I would not want anything to do with that. It, it is quite a bit tasteless. Now, I get making a booth like Charlie would always go to, as long as it's not supposed to be exactly like how it was when he was shot. Because the thing is that the kind of thing was Charlie's thing, period. Just like if you were to make a booth like Crowder's that says "Change My Mind," and take photos there, I can get that. If that's what they're going for, then fine. Then they weren't going for like a setup of the murder scene, but they were trying to, copy the murder scene. Then that's extremely tasteless, tacky, insensitive. Even if, or especially if Erica had anything to do with that. So I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to be a recreation of the booth where he was assassinated, or if it was just meant to be a recreation of his booths in general. If it was his booths in general, I think that if it was that, the people were probably blowing it out of proportion, because obviously he was killed in one of his booths. But yeah, there's a very easy way to cross that line when it comes to that. Very easy way. I couldn't imagine what Erica is going through, especially with his so-called friend scripting off his assassination. Yeah, it's I saw when people like she went on some show and somebody brought up Candace Owens, and the look on her face just kind of like, she went from smiling to just like, and I could not imagine what it's like being Erica Kirk. And some people are just saying that she's just reveling in grifting too, and I think some people are just here's the thing. There's grifting off of your deceased husband's death, and there's trying to carry on his legacy as much as you can. So I think there's, just like with the booth thing, there's a certain line there, and you have to kind of wonder, is she at that line? Is she, because I'm not going to tell a grieving widow how to grieve. Okay. That's a situation I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I definitely would never wish, that to be fate. But I'm not going to, judge her on how she chooses to grieve. There is that line of, is she even grifting off her husband's death? Or is she just trying her best to carry on his legacy and keep his work going as much as possible? So Erica's just trying to struggle through this horrible mess her life has become. Yeah, she is, and I feel for her. I really do. There's a lot of videos of her and Charlie, her little home videos, and they're very touching. Like she'd ask, like, "Hey babe, what's today's advice?" or something. And Charlie was so highly intelligent. So intelligent. He always pop off with something just very Wonderful every time. Little idioms or something. Lots of those videos. And, I really wish I was a fly on the wall for the Candace meeting, because Candace has come up with so many different weird accusations and assumptions and conspiracy theories and such. Um, so, yeah, I really wonder what they talked about and how they went about it. All right. I really wish I could just play a game on here, like do my drinky drinks and stream some gameplay. But the game I play right now is Hogwarts Legacy, and I only have the Switch Lite. I think it's on PC too. Maybe I should buy the PC version just so I can stream for y'all. Maybe have a game stream night, or for subscribers or Patreon members, because I do have a Patreon. I don't post as much as I should there, but they get nicer photos and stuff at the Patreon. So yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm feeling the strength. I don't drink. I'm feeling the strength. These buzz balls are potent. Quite potent. Oof. I lost all respect for Candace when she went after Crowder. Now, about Crowder, I don't like him as a person. I think he's good at his job, but I saw something that, just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Not the buzz balls, because that kind of does too. But it was some video about him and his wife, or at least wife at the time. I don't know if they got divorced or whatnot. He was just an asshole, absolute asshole. So as a person, I don't really like him. But the thing is that I can dislike somebody as a person, but still respect their craft. Because I think cancel culture is dumb. But yeah, as a person, I'm not really a fan of Steven Crowder. Now, he does do good, work in terms of he's interesting. He keeps, thought-provoking stuff up. I don't always agree with him on everything, of course, because, he's a conservative. He, wants certain things that I just kind of no. But, yeah. So that's just how I feel about Steven Crowder. Okay. But I do have some respect for Crowder, in the sense that he was kind of one of the OGs of doing this whole thing. I have this little stream here where I just kind of talk in general, talk to the chat, ramble about my topics, about the news, about what's going on. But he's got the whole show. He did the whole thing, and I just have respect for people who did that. It takes a lot, yes, I just kind of get up in here with my little camera, my little microphone, and just, chit chat, talk, whatever. And, I do my thing. But, I don't do it enough to the point where it's my career. And he's made a career out of putting himself out there. And, I got some respect for that. I started getting distracted here. I still have pieces of paper from the from when I made snowflakes last stream. There's some that have gotten in my keyboard here. I'm just I need to get tweezers out after the show and get that out before they get in my keyboard. But yeah. Clean your desk. I know. I know. I still have these little pieces of paper from the snowflake. I can make it. I should, but see, the thing is that it's just a small desk. I essentially just have my laptop on it and my ring light, and my tripod holding my webcam here. So it's like a really tiny little setup. I should probably invest more in it, but the thing is that it's I don't know. Like I wanted to get a new camera, and I might maybe like whenever the IRS decides to give me back some of the things that they stole from me. They call it like income tax return. We'll not go there. But maybe after some of that, maybe I'll get like nicer stuff, a nicer setup. I did order like a wallpaper, so I don't have to have like this sheet back here. And it's like a really cool wallpaper. I want to put it up back here so I can just make the wall and not have to have the sheet. You know, it's a nice sheet. It's a photography sheet, so it's nice. But yeah, and I use this for both calendars, both years. So, are you a Scorpio? No, I am a Libra. I am a Libra, born September, end of September. Libra. I'm a Libra, and my element is fire. So I'm a fire Libra, and I am a rabbit in the Chinese zodiac. Actually, I have, I'm not sure if you can even see it. I don't know. I have like a little like Chinese symbol. Look. Like here. Under my neck, I have a Chinese symbol, which is my Chinese zodiac, which is the rabbit. So, I'm a Libra, fire, rabbit. So I'm a Libra fire rabbit. But no, so yeah, no, not a Scorpio. I'm a Libra. Another Libra. Yay, Libras! I need to give myself a Libra tattoo. Ruled by Venus. I don't know what that means. I don't get that much into it to know what that means. What does that really mean? You look good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a little bit buzzed right now. I'm on, oh goodness. I think I've already had one full buzz ball now. I'm a Leo and a Ret on the Chinese zodiac. Oh, cool. Ruling planet for the sign. Oh. So I don't know. I'll have to look more into that. Like I don't necessarily like put a lot of stock into my zodiac, but a little bit of it, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah. The things that are coincidental, I'm like, okay, that's cool, and I'm interested in it, but I'm not like I follow my life based on my zodiac. So I'm on 6 shots of proper 12. Here. All right, you want to take a shot? Cheers. I still have some left. So yeah, if you have a drink, let's cheers. Cheers to the end of 2025. Better things to come in 2026. Cheers. Oof. Which Harry Potter house are you? I have actually tested into 2 different houses. I've tested into Hufflepuff and I've tested into Ravenclaw. But the Sorting Hat takes your decision into account. So therefore, I am Ravenclaw. And of course, I got the raven on my arm too. I was speaking of, yesterday, I was getting out the chicken and dressing out of the oven to move it, and I actually burned my arm on my raven. Luckily, I don't think I did much damage. It's not like blistering up or anything. I was so worried that it was going to damage my tattoo, but it seems okay. So crisis averted. Cheers to me not getting screwed over in 2026. Yes, cheers to us not getting anybody getting screwed over in 2026. You are the supreme law. Fun fact, I was actually going to go into law. My original career choice, I wanted to go into constitutional law. I was actually in some, let's say, pre-law classes because there is no actual major of pre-law. I was taking like legal writing and research and other stuff like that. That's one reason, like, I write how I do sometimes. It's like you wonder why I write like my ex stuff when I'm getting serious, why it sounds a little pompous and overly professional, is because I purposely got myself in this habit in that legal writing and research class to always address things certain ways. So I have a habit of saying things certain ways. Because I initially wanted to go into law school. That was the original plan, was to go to law school. Things didn't work out. Life got in the way. But you know what? If I did go to law school, I probably wouldn't be here with all you lovely people. So I guess it worked out wonderfully. But I of course, I still really do have a strong like interest in law, political science, because my minor was in political science. Obviously, that's I do use that for what I do now, which is social media, political social media as a libertarian, and yeah. So I didn't completely, I guess, lose out on my college education. I do use it doing this, like politics and talking that kind of stuff. But my own personal personality, it's just kind of more of how I present it rather than doing it professionally in terms of, like in the courtroom and such. But yeah, I was going to go into constitutional law. And then I was like, okay, no, I'm going to go corporate law because there's a lot of money there. But then I just didn't finish my bachelor's. So obviously I didn't go to law school. But that was the original plan. My minor isn't psychology, but I'm big into history too. See, my major was history, and my minor was political science. Because my thing is that to study constitutional law, you want to study the history on how to best interpret those laws and the Constitution based on what happened during those times. Because the thing about the Constitution is that you have, like, say, the Supreme Court justices. They are to interpret the Constitution and apply it as such to the cases that you receive, right? Well, the best way to interpret the Constitution is to interpret it how it was, the intent on how it was written. And the best way to do that is to study the history during those times. And my major was American history, so I could, better interpret the Constitution based on how the intent was made when those laws were set, when the Constitution was made, things that shaped the Constitution based on, the events of the time and the thought processes of the people who made those, like, amendments and such, which makes sense to me. And I love history in general, but I was like, okay, this is going to help me out the most for constitutional law, because I'm going to be able to adequately interpret the Constitution for the field. And then obviously minor in political science, because that's the setup of everything, so yeah. I just never finished my bachelor's to get to law school, and I don't think I would go to law school even now. I think I'm happy where I'm at, but I think that as far as I got, it does help me do this, talk politics, talk the news, and it does help. Regardless if I have the bachelor's or not, regardless if I even went to law school or not. I know how to read legal documents. I know how to do legal writing. I know how to, do that stuff because I've taken classes on it and everything. But, yeah. So, so I do still have some left. I should finish it. I'm not gonna chug it though. But I'm pretty buzzed right now. Oof. Let me look at this. So 15%. Other than standard orange wine, an orange wine with cream, natural pineapple and coconut flavors, and other natural flavors. Huh. I made some coconut truffles like last week. They were really good. I didn't have all that many, but I'll make them. I would make them again in the future, maybe for the holidays or something. But yeah, those turned out great. I just want to get my career in naturopathic medicine rolling already. I still need to get my master's though. Oh, is that? I'm assuming that's something you have to have your master's for though, right? LG, why do you want to drink? I'm so fucked up right now. I'm surprised I said. Cheers, my homie, my good friend. Cheers. And no, I'm not copying Jake. I know he did this red wine stream, but he did like a 12-hour stream. I can't do a 12-hour stream. I have too much going on. This is just an end of the year stream for me. That's why I'm doing this. But yeah, thank you for having drinks with me. That way I don't feel alone. I'm not fucked up. I'm maybe a little bit drunk. That's why I'm like, ask me anything, yeah. The ask me anything is still up. Yeah, ask me anything. And if I want to answer, I'll answer. So go ahead, chat. Ask me what you want to ask me. I'm here. You can ask me now, live, in the chat. But yeah, I'm if you're fucked up, sorry. Sorry. If you wanted to get fucked up, then I guess not sorry. But if you didn't want to get fucked up, then sorry. I'm almost done here though. Like in this, I've gone almost half an hour over the stream. But this is the end of the year stream. This is like a whatever. Like we talked about news. We talked about some of the news, and not really reminisce much about the year. It was such a shit year. Could have been worse. Could have been much worse. There's a lot of dick sizing with Venezuela still going on. My question is Captain Picard or Captain Kirk? Ooh. Which Captain Kirk? The William Shatner? And I used to wonder, is Shatner past tense of Shitner? Do you think he would ever answer if Shatner was past tense of Shitner? But anyway, answer the question. I'm going to go with Picard, but I do like the young Kirk. I think that's well done. Like no offense against Kirk, but I don't know. Something about Picard. I just like Picard. What goth or goth adjacent bands do you hate or really dislike? Vision Video. I don't really listen to a lot of their stuff. I've heard some of their stuff and they sound great, but Vision Video is a bunch of leftist, dick sucking coggies. They are a bunch of like leftard coggy motherfuckers. So no, I'm not a fan of Vision Video in that sense. I do not like their stances on shit. their music's fine, but Vision Video can actually suck my non-existent penis, because I don't like radical left-leaning assholes. Can't be a coggy until you suck a dick. Well, okay. There's plenty of straight females or bisexual females that are not coggies that still suck dick. So you can still, yeah. But yeah, that was the answer. Vision Video. They're a newer band, of course, newer kind of goth band. They're just, I don't know. And here's the thing. And here's where I'm going to get into how the difference between these quote unquote goth influencers and myself. My thing, a lot of it is like politics. I don't really do music. I've thought about dabbling in music. I actually used to do music, didn't get too serious in it. And you got like Jake Monroe, who actually is a musician, does music. And my thing is that I'm a bit, I'm going to say harsher, but I don't know. Like, we all have our own quirks, things that we're willing to look past, and things that we're not. I do support other content creators and their choices. But I just, we're all different. We all have our own opinions, and we all, we're different. And that's the thing, is that the content creators of us in the alternative goth community or whatever, those of us who are not on the left, we can have these disagreements. We can have these differences in opinion. And at the end of the day, we're still cool with each other. Like, there's things that I disagree with Jake on, and he disagrees with me on. But like, we're still cool at the end of the day. Like, whatever, And, but, then you have like some of these others that, are just absolutely not going to want to do anything with you just because you have a certain viewpoint on one thing. But the thing is that it should be the way that you can disagree with others on something and still at the end of the day, still grab a beer together, That's how it should be. It shouldn't be, oh, you disagree with, medicalizing children, transitioning children medically. You disagree with me on that. You're a horrible person. I want nothing to do with you. We can't break bread together. No, that's not how it should be. It should be, you should be able to civilly disagree with people, and at the end of the day, still be able to come together as all part of the subculture, appreciating the same things, and having love for the same things. Because when it comes down to it, like the goth subculture itself, is not political. There's nothing political about Edgar Allan Poe, like the literature, the Gothic literature, Frankenstein, all the other stuff, all the Gothic literature that inspired whenever goth first came into being. There's nothing inherently political about it. And the songs, like, there was an occasional political song, but then you have Christian Death's Romeo's Distress. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Christian Death, Romeo's Distress. Look up the lyrics, okay? So you got these coggies really trying to take such a hard monopoly on all these subcultures. And the thing is that they nuance in anything escapes these people. It's like all or nothing. They deal in absolutes. Only Siths deal in absolutes. And it's all like, the thing about goth is supposed to be a love and appreciation for the macabre, darkness, love, loss, romance, guilt, things that are inherently old and traditional. Like even this right here that I'm wearing, there's like crosses on it, and there's like Victorian-esque like photo looking things, skeletons, and it's an appreciation and a love for those kinds of things. It's not inherently political. What's political about this? If anything, it's actually leaning more conservative with the crosses. And they want to say that it's all left. Yes, alternative cultures do not just allow, but they attract people who always have felt like outcasts. And that can be anybody. Anybody can feel outcast. And these subcultures, of course, if you're an outcast and you want to be a part of it, fine, good, great. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's part of it. But they're assuming that just because you lean a certain way politically, you're automatically a bigot. You automatically hate people of a certain, difference. No, that's not the truth. Just because you're not a leftist doesn't mean you hate people who are a certain way and who are different. It's just absolutely asinine. I don't know. These people just have these weird assumptions about anybody who, like, basically, if you're not left, if you don't lead the same way they do, you are bigoted, you are intolerant, and you are this and that. That's not the truth. As a libertarian, like, I say live and let live. Do what you want to do as long as you're not harming anybody. That's it. And yet I've been called a fascist? Like, are you fucking for real? It makes no sense. I've lost friends over not being left. I've lost a very close friend, and it still hurts to this day because I'm not left. There's assumptions about my views on this and that just because I'm not on the left. Like, do people even know what a libertarian is these days? Like, obviously not. I've seen you, fascism. LG, set me up. Hi. Thank you for being here. I've been called a crazy conservative by people when I ain't in the room to defend myself. Yeah, these people don't even know what the difference is. If you're right of Stalin, then you're Hitler, basically. Anything right of Stalin is Hitler in these people's minds. And that's why, like, you have Jake calling himself alt-right when he's not alt-right. He's just leans right, especially compared to them. It's like you kind of have to joke and jab at these people with their own bullshit these days. Like, I don't know. I'm at the end of this right here. See that? And then after I finish this, I'm going to do my plug for my store like I usually do because it's my sponsor. I don't have any like sponsorships. All my viewers and my followers, you are my beautiful and lovely sponsors. What you do keeps me going. I do this for y'all. I love it, and I do love doing this. And it's been a great year, and I'm so thankful, so thankful for each and every one of you who, watch my streams, follow me, even if you don't comment, even if you like, because right now I see on the views, I have 276 viewers. I don't have 276 people in my chat room right now. I know that. So there's a lot of people that still watch, don't comment. You know, y'all are all wonderful people, and I am so appreciative of each and every one of you, like you don't even know. I'm beautiful. Yes, you are beautiful. You are very beautiful. And I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of you. And it has been, you know, as up and down of a year as it has been politically and socially, you know, for me, like, you know, my account has grown, and like, I'm just so thankful that I have so many people willing to put up with me and to listen to my ramblings and discuss things that I truly love, which is, you know, liberty and, you know, politics and, you know, shitting on the government and bullying politicians. That's what I love to do. And I love that y'all are all on board with me, following me, being there with me. And I, you know, I cannot describe, you know, the amount of appreciation I have for each and every one of you, really. And this is not just me drunkenly saying this to y'all either. This is how I really feel, and I really am thankful that you all like take time out of your day to like or comment on my shit. And speaking of, like, comment, subscribe, share. I think YouTube wants people to say that. But I do really, really appreciate everybody. It's been fun. It's been really fun. And I'm looking forward to 2026. I really am. 2025 has been crazy. 2026 is going to be a full year from start to finish of the Trump administration. And I'm looking forward to the memes. I know you are too, right? I'm directly saying a lot of things right now, to be honest. That's fine. That's fine. We're all a little buzzed here. I'm buzzed, at least. I'm drinking buzz balls of 50%. All right. I went down that little last bit. If I wish I qualified for like super chats, and I'd be like, super chat this for, you know. Got little hiccups here. Love you too, LG, and I'm not even drunk. Aww. I love you too. Or what is it? How does the Korean thing go? It's like a heart. Hearts. Okay. I'm gonna down the last bit of this buzz balls. I think it's more than a mouthful. I don't know. We'll see. Whew. Empty. Ugh. I'll be your cosmic if you want. No. No. I could never ask anybody to do that. Cosmic has to be very wealthy to do what he does. Like, I swear, Cosmic himself or herself, whoever Cosmic is single-handedly supporting Jake's entire family. So, appreciate it, but I would never ask anyone of that. Whenever I do, if and when I do qualify for super chats, like I would never expect that. Like that guy gets hundreds of dollars thrown at him every live stream. It wows me. Like, wow, like, dude, I've never seen a guy get that much money thrown at him like he does, and it's very impressive. He's a good guy though. He's a really cool dude. I think he honestly really deserves it. He has a great fan base, and he deserves the great fan base he has. And I'm looking forward to how he's going to stir the pot in 2026. I really am. He has done so much for the community, and um, oh yeah, well, hopefully we'll have him on sometime in 2026. We haven't really discussed the date, but it's going to be very much not only planned ahead, but he is in the UK, so it's going to be like quite an adjustment to try to get him on. Otherwise, I would have asked him on like way before, but he said he's willing to come on. So, yeah, hopefully in 2026 we'll also have Jake Monroe as a guest, which will be fun. Maybe I'll have Brian back as well, because Brian's, he was a great guest. We had Brian on back. Oh, goodness. When was it? What month was it back we had Brian on? It was like a last minute too. Whenever I asked Brian to come on, I was like, "Hey, you want to, come on?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, because I was like actually putting my makeup on for the stream, and then I messaged him. I was like, "You want to come on?" Because I originally I did ask Danielle Estrella, and I was going to try to ask him too, but I asked Danielle first, and she couldn't. Danielle Estrella is the one who is in Crucifera, who started Goths Against Cancel Culture, and I was wanting to talk about like the cancel culture thing going on in the goth community, and that little civil war thing. Luckily, Brian was able to say yes, and had him on. That was a great time. I was sick that day, so that was the stream where I had my sloth onesie on. I was sick, but I still did the stream. Had Brian on. We had a great time. Definitely get Brian back. He's great. Yeah, I think I definitely will throw out another invitation for Brian to come back on. We had a lot of fun. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll probably have Brian back on in 2026 sometime. I don't know when. I don't know how exactly to reach Danielle. Oh, I talked to Danielle. We're friends. I talked to Danielle. So, if she's available, I can get Danielle. But yeah, anyway, so I finished my drink. Yes. Both buzzballs. Can't believe I drank both buzzballs. Danielle is so beautiful. She does great work. Yes, she absolutely does. Danielle is such a sweetheart too. I adore her. She does not deserve the cancellation and bullshit she has gone through either. But she is destined for great things. She is very intelligent, very beautiful, and Danielle is just top tier, amazing. Play a game. You know what? My computer is a gaming computer. Like the one I'm on, my laptop is a gaming laptop. But I don't have any games on it. I wish I knew how. Hang on. Because the only game that I really play is Hogwarts Legacy. All right, let's see. Is it even available on PC? I think. Hang on. Oh, it's on Steam. Oh, goodness. That's a throwback. Maybe. Oh, winter sale up to 90% off. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Let's see. So Hogwarts Legacy is holy shit. It's $5.99 to buy Hogwarts Legacy compared to $60. Should I get it, y'all? Should I buy Hogwarts Legacy and then play it on my PC for y'all? If you go to Steam, the Steam store, I don't even have Steam. Let me download Steam. I used to actually. Fun fact: I used to play Counter-Strike Source, and obviously that's on Steam. I used to be in a Counter-Strike clan and everything. I'm not going to say the name of the clan just in case it still exists because I've had personal issues with people in the past in that kind of clan. But hang on. Let's see if I can download Steam and see if I can get Hogwarts Legacy. And then if so, then just random nights. Maybe I'll do like subscribers only or patron only and do like, game nights. Okay, so I'm downloading Steam. Okay, downloading Steam right now. Okay. Okay, now it's updating Steam. Okay. You're cool AF. I was big into Counter-Strike 1.6, Source, and Go. I did play Counter-Strike 1.6 a bit and the Counter-Strike Source. Didn't play Go, though. Definitely do live gaming streams. Yeah, especially because, like, I'm so nice on X. I don't really get to, like, mean. But, I have the potty mouth, like a lot of gamers do. Whenever I game. However, doing something like Hogwarts Legacy, it's kind of more. It's like a not PV. It's not PvP. It's MMORPG. So it's a little different than like PvP. But if it's because it says like buy Hogwarts Legacy special promotion offer ends January 5th, 90% off. So I might just buy Hogwarts Legacy for my computer, and maybe then if I have it, then I'll play. And the reason I just want to kind of stick to Hogwarts Legacy is because like there's no real games that I'm really interested in right now. That's just the one that like I'm just in love with right now. That's my current like obsession is Hogwarts Legacy because I'm a Harry Potter nerd. I've actually I got the audiobooks, the new audiobooks, the ones with the cast members for the HBO show. I have the audiobooks going all the way to Half-Blood Prince, I think. And I'm not finished with but the Sorcerer's Stone yet. Of that audiobook. But I've already gone through all the books already before, of course. Okay. Let's see. Steam is still updating. Okay. I should probably top this out at 2 hours though. Because it's 12:30. It's kind of late. It's getting late. This is like the longest stream, but you know what? It's the last stream of the year. Last stream of the year. Gotta go big or go home. Although I'm home. Okay, let's see. Where's Steam at? Wait, that's not Steam. Okay, hang on. I don't know what that is. There's Steam. Okay, I guess I need to create a Steam account because I don't remember any Steam account that I had back in the day. Let's create a new Steam. Oh, not caps lock. Yes, I am human, or am I? For an email, gotta check my email to set up Steam. I really wish, though, that Hogwarts Legacy was like where you can play with other people. Because yeah. All right, I verified my email. All right, so I probably need to cut this out. I have been in here for almost 2 hours because this is the last stream of the year. But I really want to thank you all for coming. I will try to set the Steam account, try to get Hogwarts Legacy on there. Maybe in 2026, start doing some gaming streams just for fun. Because, like, why not? But I do want to thank everybody for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, all this. And let's have a word from our sponsor. Let's see. A word from today's sponsor, who is... guess sponsor? Sponsor is none other than LibertarianGoth.com, the internet's largest alternative culture-geared Liberty apparel website. The Liberty Track Calendar now available. This 2025 calendar is $5 off until the end of the year. Then it is going away forever. So if you want the ones from this 2025, you better get it. Get your hands on it now. We got our Make America Goth again, Make America Metal again, Make America Punk again, and Make America Emo again stuff. We also have Cyberbully the Government in t-shirts and tank tops and zip hoodies and mugs as well. We got the pin up with Ron Paul quotes, Frederic Bastiat quotes. We got Fuck Your Speech Laws with none other than JD Vance. I Stand With Massey shirts, which is my personal favorite. I have that shirt. It takes big balls to audit the government. Make America Fun again. So get your gear at libertariangoth.com. And I do want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support, for coming in tonight, hanging out with me. Everything that you do, I do it for you. I love doing it. And thank you again from the bottom of my heart for an amazing year. This show has taken off a lot more than I thought it ever would. I really couldn't do it without y'all. Really. Almost literally. Because SteamYard is not cheap. But thank you again for everything. I do hope you have a great and safe New Year's. Do not drink and drive. Get Ubers, get a ride home, or just don't go anywhere. Stay put if you drink, okay? I want each and every one of you to be back and, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed in the coming year, and to not take any crap from, anybody, especially the government, okay? All right. Once again, I thank you all for coming out, and have a great rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful new year. Many love and blessings and luck in the new year. I know you will do great. You will kick ass. You are all amazing people. I absolutely adore each and every one of you. And always lead with kindness unless they don't deserve it.